All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Felipe speaking, and I got two very interesting updates for Second Earth. One, as you can see right behind me, I am back in the United States of America. Right, it's kind of a complicated story, and then also here we got Lua over here. I don't know if you saw her in my one of my videos. Last time I remember, she was like 2 feet, like such a tiny little thing. Yeah, she's growing. She's very curious about the other dog. So come on, baby, let's go. So yeah, the update basically what's happening is that I kind of came back from Mexico about 2 months earlier than I had anticipated, and it had to do with a fallout that I had with one of my roommates. Something else that happened is the only other person that I knew in Mexico, well, it happened that this girl who was my friend, who I thought was really cool, she suddenly was one day drugged up at a bar. She was abducted, and you know, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but she was screw it, I'll just say it. She got basically forced intercourse by 3 different men, and then she was tortured, she was beaten, she had cut marks in her neck, she was basically duct taped from ankles to her neck, and then was tossed in the middle of the jungles, essentially left for dead. And the thing is, she wasn't the only one. There were I think 3 other abductions that were happening, all within 2 weeks, all within the same area. Actually, it was 4 abductions in total. So I figured, now that I have this fallout with my roommates and all these abductions are happening, it may not be such a bad time to come back to America. And boy, what timing, huh? Things are heating up in this country. Oh my goodness. But here's the other update, other than being in the United States of America. I'm essentially gonna stop doing political videos on this Second Earth channel. The reason being is that, kind of started Second Earth doing exopolitics, doing UFO topics. It's something that I'm a little bit more specialized than politics. I think there are a lot of great channels out there that might give a slightly more in-depth look at certain topics than I do sometimes.
They have spoken at length about wanting to drive more traffic to mainstream authoritative sources. That is to the detriment of people like me, and by the way, not just those that cover politics. If you cover news in any sense, science news, health news, technology news, gaming, anything like that where you're talking about current events, you are being screwed by YouTube.
That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna talk politics in any means. So what I will be doing is I will be uploading all my politics video on BitChute. So I guess that'll give you another incentive to go there, subscribe, and check me out in this other platform. And that is if you want to watch the political videos. And actually, I have a brand new video that I'll go ahead and link in the description. But what I wanted to do today is I want to talk about the 2 presidents, Barack Obama and President Trump, who have recently, for President Trump, it wasn't that recently, it was a few months ago. But Barack Obama, I think 2 weeks ago, had commented on the Stephen Colbert show regarding UFOs. It's kind of interesting because Barack Obama had actually had this interaction before with Jimmy Kimmel, where he kind of gave a funny, quizzical, kind of oh, I don't know, maybe kind of look. So, you know, if you haven't seen this, I'll go ahead and roll the tape real quick.
There are times where prying information out of the bowels of an agency can be challenging.
UFOs? Any UFOs? Did you ask about that?
Certainly asked about it.
And?
Can't tell you. Sorry.
Okay. All right, I'll take that as a yes. Because if there were none,
Why
you'd say
not?
there was none, right? You just played your hand. I thought you were a poker player. You just 100% showed your river card.
Feel free to think that.
I do. I do. There's so much
There,
that makes me happy to think
can I
that you
just
won't
say-
tell me about
Can
UFOs.
I say it used to be that UFOs was the and what is it? Roswell was the biggest conspiracy,
Yeah.
and now that seems so tame, right?
Right.
The idea that
Right.
the government might have an
Yeah.
alien spaceship.
So as you can see, it's very, I don't know, it looks like he's got a funny smile, if that means anything to you. I think that if you haven't seen the Jimmy Kimmel, I think that's also very revealing. So let's go ahead and take a look at that.
So this is something I feel like if I was the president, and it's unlikely that that is ever going to happen.
You never know.
If I was the president,
It was unlikely that I was going to be president.
the moment I was inaugurated, my hand would just, it'd still be hot from touching the Bible, and I would immediately race to wherever they have the files about Area 51 and the UFOs, and I'd go through everything to find out what happened.
Right.
Did you do that?
That's why you will not be president. Because that's the first thing that you would do.
It's at the
The
top of
aliens
my
won't
list.
let it happen. You reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us.
Now, you know, there are a lot of people that are going to examine your facial expressions here, every twitch, everything, and say, and of course, so did you look? Did you see? Did you explore?
I can't reveal anything.
Oh, really? Because President Clinton said he did go right in and he did check, and there was nothing.
Well, you know, that's what we're instructed to say.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, you tell me, what do you think? Is Barack Obama, does he know something that we possibly don't know?
Except that Jones' account is quite a bit different from the general tenor of Aldrin's remarks. Aldrin never said that aliens built anything.
I just told you the rest of the story.
We can visit other people with their habitation. We can keep track if there's something very important to be developed from the moon. We should go boldly where man has not gone before. Fly by the comets, visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars. There's a monolith there, a very unusual structure on this little potato-shaped object that goes around Mars once in 7 hours. When people find out about that, they're going to say, who put that there? Who put that there?
They don't come in saucers. It's interdimensional. They're in the other dimensions. It's all ethereal.
It's inside you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I had what I thought was a good recording of this particular episode, but, you know, not everything is going to work out as planned. Unfortunately, the app that I was using just kind of crashed, and then the recording was gone. Having said that, I'm here at nighttime in my house, and let's go ahead and go over this. Popular mechanics: Trump acknowledges UFOs, threatens aliens with military action. I honestly don't know if this is supposed to be humorous or if this guy is seriously has like Trump derangement syndrome, but let's just read further. President Donald Trump, when asked about a new Pentagon task force for studying UFOs, replied that he would look into it and then began boasting about the powers of the US military. Some observers saw this as Trump touting his funding of the Department of Defense, while others saw it as a threat to extraterrestrial beings. A threat, yes, please don't kill those grays. In an interview on Sunday, Fox News anchor Maria Bartiromo asked Trump, Can you explain why the Department of Defense has set up a UFO task force? Are there UFOs? Well, I'm going to have to check on that, Trump replied. I mean, I've heard that. I heard that 2 days ago, so I'll check on that. I'll take a good, strong look at that. So, you know, a lot of people say that Trump lies a lot. I like to say that Trump is more like a car salesman. He just kind of exaggerates. But if I was working in CNN, I would definitely have to add this as one of his lies. To say that I heard that 2 days ago, it's hard to believe that. Trump went on to talk about the U.S. military. I'll tell you this, we have now created a military, the likes of which we have never had before. In terms of equipment, the equipment we have, the weapons we have, and hope to God we'd never have to use it, but have created a military the likes of which nobody has ever had. Russia, China, they're all envious of what we had, all built in the USA. We've rebuilt it all, $2.5 trillion. As far as the other questions, I'll check on it. I heard about it 2 days ago, actually. Sorry, I'm kind of chuckling because I do think it's a little bit funny that when asked about aliens, that he goes right to the discussions of military, because I honestly don't believe that he feels like his military has any chance against aliens. So I think this is more like aliens make me feel insecure, so let's talk about those big missiles, you know?
Oh, boys! I'm back!
In August, the Pentagon established an official task force to investigate UFO sightings, following confirmed UFO sightings by the U.S. Navy pilots between 2004 and 2014. I think they're referring to David Fravor. The Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena UAP Task Force, UAPTF, will investigate the sighting of UAPs, also known as UFOs. It's the first official U.S. government program affiliated with UFO research since a 2000s-era unit that analyzed unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, and other UAPs lost its funding in 2012, even though multiple sources confirmed with Popular Mechanics that the unit remained active in secrecy after its shuttering. Now, that's interesting that they actually would admit something like that. So what exactly was Trump getting at in this interview? One interpretation is that Trump riffed on the possible threat of aliens to talk about how much he had done for the U.S. military. Indeed, the president has spent approximately $2.5 trillion on defense, though there's been no real increase in America's overall military strength and numbers of weapons. The other possibility, this was Trump directly threatening aliens, or more likely the foreign governments behind the UAPs than the Pentagon is investigating with military action. So he kind of takes kind of like a skeptical approach, saying that Trump is indirectly threatening the other governments. But if he was threatening aliens, I will say that the reptilians are very scary looking. Those grays, they have like little robots. I'm not a fan of robots. And they even have those praying mantis looking aliens. Well, when you think about it, the praying mantises on Earth the females do chop off the head of the males when conceiving. So yeah, that's pretty scary. In August 2017, Trump used similar wording to threaten North Korea, stating, "North Korea will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which the world has never seen before." If Trump did consider aliens a threat, that would likely explain the sudden rush to establish the Space Force. Another explanation is that enterprises like Elon Musk's SpaceX are actually making great gains in being able to possibly go to places like Mars. So this just could be like a federal response, whether they're going to be working in parallel to SpaceX or directly in competition with SpaceX. It could just be a response to the new wave of space exploration. At least that's my opinion on it. The newest U.S. military branch. It's not clear, though, why Trump would choose Fox News to threaten aliens with the power of the U.S. military. I'm going to venture a guess that maybe it's because Fox News actually tries to say the truth every once in a while for a mainstream channel. They're not like CNN, they're like 100% deceptive. So if the aliens were to watch something, God forbid they would watch anything made out of this planet.
My guy sucks. Want to trade guys for a little while?
But if they were, Fox News might be the best one. Just a guess. So could the Pentagon fend off a UFO attack? It seems unlikely. Even America's most high-tech military hardware, including the F-22 Raptor fighters, USS Ford-class aircraft carriers, and the thousands of nuclear weapons that make up the strategic nuclear forces, would almost certainly be powerless against any technology advanced enough to travel between stars. Definitely have to agree with that one. Consider the progress in weapons technology made by mankind over the last 200 years. Military forces of the 1820s, complete with muskets, horses, and field guns, would stand no chance against the armed forces of the 2020s. Alien civilizations could easily be thousands or even millions of years more advanced than mankind, with weapons that might seem miraculous to us. The unfortunate truth is Earth is likely ripe for the taking of any alien race technologically advanced enough to travel here. And kind of like to add to this, when they started talking about the nuclear weapons, I think a lot of people who are really into the UFO research, the exopolitics, so to speak, they know about the nuclear silos, these very interesting cases that are very credible, in which the aliens actually were able to turn off our nuclear weapons, our nuclear arsenal, and then eventually, I guess, they were turned back on. But many have kind of seen that as a type of warning, like, hey, we got your weapons. We can control your weapons with technologies that you couldn't even dream to understand. While it's fun to speculate on wildly unrealistic scenarios, so the Pentagon is saying that UFOs are real. This has been happening since the 1950s. David Fravor says this is a technology that goes from 0 to 1,000 miles per hour at a split of a second, defying our laws of physics, yet countries like China are not using it to take over the US. Okay, so we'll stay with that. Wildly unrealistic scenarios. Here's the bigger debate. Is there really something here? Or did Trump answer two different questions, one of which was never really asked? If anyone on this planet knows the real truth about UFOs and extraterrestrial life, it would be the President of the United States. So what else might Trump someday reveal? So, it does seem like Trump might know something, because, well, I can say that he definitely didn't hear about UFOs only 2 days ago. I have no idea why he said that. I did find it kind of humorous that, when asked about aliens, the first thing that he starts talking about is the U.S. military might, because I think the author kind of makes a humorous point, but albeit kind of true, that there's nothing we can really do if the aliens are here. So was this Trump kind of sticking his figurative, what? All right, this is a YouTube show. Anyways, I wanted to end it off with a question. If UFOs and aliens are real, why now? Why in this crazy 2020 year? Is it because the world is about to turn upside down Armageddon style? Is it because these are some kind of red herring for military technologies that are about to come out? Or do you have an answer that hasn't been presented in this episode?